Lords of the Fallen is going to be most likely way better multiplayer experience than anything we have ever seen in From Software games. And let me quickly elaborate why. So I stumbled upon this interview by Danny Penna. He was interviewing game's creative director and head of the studio. And overall there are like 3 things in this interview that got my interest. So in case if you don't know, this game is going to have seamless co-op type of the experience when it comes to cooperation. And it's also going to have invasions. This is what we knew so far. I think I have seen this information somewhere before, but now it is actually confirmed that the game is going to have crossplay. And it's going to be crossplay between all platforms, so PC gamers will be able to play with console gamers. Which of course might raise an eyebrow for various reasons, but for me, as for someone that is going to play this game on the PC, there is literally no downside. It's great because we can rather expect that the game is not going to be as big as Dark Souls or Elden Ring entries. Crossplay is going to give us a lot of the activity both for co-opers and invaders. And speaking of invaders, no one is asking these guys about invasions, and in this interview it's kind of noticeable they want to talk about it. So yeah, as for now, we know that there is going to be co-op, seamless one. There is going to be PvP in form of invasions. We don't know anything about duels. We don't know anything about possibility to drop down the signs for the sake of to set up, like, for example, fight clubs and so on. We don't know anything about if there is like some sort of the arena. But yeah, we know that there is going to be crossplay, which is kinda big. Another thing that I want to mention is these guys seem to understand what Souls are about, which is probably important when you're doing the Souls-like. You know how it is. It couldn't be an interview without journalists asking if there would be an easy mode of any sort. And general answer is no, there won't be an easy mode. Developers said that you will be able to make the experience easier for you by, for example, summoning a friend and so on, but generally speaking, there won't be possibility to choose between difficulties. They said they want their game to be in the way that once you're going to finish it, you kind of feel happy with the achievement of doing so, which is great because this is exactly how many people portray Souls games. On the side note, you have no idea how fucking annoying it is to me to listen to the easy mode thingy. Like, you have people playing and competing with disabilities, they have no hands, they have broken bone structures, barely can see, have restricted motor functions and so on. And these people compete in the multiplayer games on very high level, despite their obstacles. And some fucking bitch fucking dares to sit on Twitter or fucking Reddit and just spit their bullshit about accessibility and other shit like that. But anyway, one of the last things mentioned in this interview is animation. So let me put this that way. If you look at the gameplay from Lords of the Fallen, you can see that certain animations are just like kind of like very fast. One could even say that kind of unnaturally, like for example, unsheathing the weapons, yeah? It was apparently a design decision on their part, as they just want to keep things very responsive. So you as a player, you feel the character move exactly in the way you want it to move, which is nice. I like this idea, as indeed the most important thing about Souls games overall is the feeling of the gameplay. A good example of it is the first Lords of the Fallen, the one from 2014, which is worth to mention that this game from technical standpoint has nothing to do with old Lords of the Fallen. It is like complete reboot made by completely different people. But my point was, old Lords of the Fallen was looking great for its time. It was very pretty. And the reason why so many people dislike it is because it felt clunky for them. They didn't like how the gameplay felt like. So it seems like these developers just doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes like Deck 13 did when they were working on the old Lords of the Fallen. Besides that, I have seen this article, and as I told you before, the head of Hexworks Studios kind of seem to know what he is talking about. In this article he mentions how the multiplayer works more or less. There is like that humongous gimmick in this game. Essentially the ability to swap between Axiom and Umbrel, which is World of the Living and World of Dead. So the host is essentially in control, and all the guests in his worlds, doesn't matter if that's Invader or the co-oper, they are going to be transported to the world of the living or dead, depending where the host currently is. We can also resurrect our teammates on the spot. As for PvP, invasions taking place everywhere in the world apparently, so there is no situation like in, for example, Wulong, where only the main maps are invadable. Invader arrives relatively close to the host, which is nice. I'm kinda done with spawning at the other end of the map, like it is in Elden Ring, not gonna lie. Normally the game has like kind of second chance system, based on the fact like if you are going to die in Axiom as a host, you are going to be resurrected in Umbral, as far as I understand. Well, that doesn't really happen to the Invader. If you die as a bad red man, you are essentially gone. And speaking of Umbral, if you for once stand on the structure that is only in the world of the dead, and the host is going to swap the worlds, you are going to get heated to the world of the living on the spot, which means that if, for example, you are standing on some sort of platform that is only the world of the dead, you are simply gonna fall off it. Which developers seem to mention it with small portion of amusement. You know that they are absolutely counting for hosts trolling invaders. And last but not least, another article from the same website, which focuses on the potential DLCs, patches, essentially post-launch support. Make long story short, there is no DLC pre-planned. If the game is going to sell very well, maybe they can actually think of something. But they basically promise to support the game for at least 6 months to 1 year after launch, which includes balance patches, quality of life type of stuff, requests and general feedback. So it seems like the original plan is they want to move on to another project just as soon as the game is going to be released. It kind of looks like similar approach to Bandai Namco and From Software, so that would be it. No live service Souls like this time. And yeah, it would be about it. Honestly, it's looking promising so far. The way how developers and especially the boss of the studio talks about the game gives me a lot of hope. It seems like they really want to listen to the potential feedback. Seems like they really want to improve the game. And what is the most important, they clearly enjoy what they are doing. They want it to be a very, very good experience for everyone. And I really like the fact they seem to understand what Souls-likes are about. It gives very good background for the potential further improvements for the game. And that's good because there is plenty of jarring things that probably need changes. But I'm not gonna talk about here because I have heard somewhere that G9 might be cooking certain video where I and him talking about these things. So yeah, keep an eye on his channel. And meanwhile, I thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.
Riposo! Hello, gamer? Memory's broken, freedom goes unspoken.